Hi guys, welcome to today's screencast. So what we're going to look at in lesson today is we're going to focus on the adaptations of the respiratory system to exercise. So we've looked over the past couple of days at the respiratory system. So we did the structure of the respiratory system. We looked at the larynx, the trachea, epiglottis, lungs, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, etc. We also did the mechanisms of breathing, so breathing in, breathing out, our Dr. VPA. The control of breathing, so we're looking at neural control, chemical control. We looked at gaseous exchange, which was gasp DD that we learned as. And then finally, we also did kind of like the volumes of the respiratory system, such as tidal volume, residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, total lung volume, vital capacity, and so on. So what we're looking at anyway today is the adaptations of the respiratory system to exercise. What happens to our respiratory system after we've exercised for a period of say 6 to 8 weeks? How do we improve? So we undergo kind of several specific adaptations in response to training, and the first one is an increase in vital capacity. Now what I want you to remember is that vital capacity is the amount of air that can be forced out of the lungs after maximal inspiration. So we've breathed in, we've inspired as deep as we physically possibly can, and then the amount of air that can be forced out after that, that is known as vital capacity. Now, this increases, this is one of the adaptations of the respiratory system. We get an increase in vital capacity. So an athlete's lung size and efficiency will increase with training. This increased capacity ensures oxygen supply to the muscles is continuous, i.e., we're able to breathe out more carbon dioxide and breathe in more oxygen per breath. So that's going to increase our tidal volume, i.e. the amount of air inhaled and exhaled per breath, which is then going to increase our minute ventilation, which is tidal volume times pulmonary ventilation. So, tidal volume times breathing frequency, which is known as pulmonary ventilation or minute ventilation, how you want to look at it. So vital capacity, that's one of the adaptations. There's three altogether. So this is the first one. Second one is we get an increase in oxygen and carbon dioxide diffusion rate, i.e. the efficiency gaseous exchange at the alveoli increases. So this allows better delivery of oxygen and removal of carbon dioxide, so we're getting more oxygen into the blood, we're getting more carbon dioxide from the blood leaving into the lungs to be breathed out. The increased rate of diffusion across tissue allows the athlete to train for harder, higher intensities, longer, whilst reducing fatigue. Now, remember with gaseous exchange, it was gasp DD, so the gas, i.e. oxygen, let's say if you're talking about oxygen area, alveoli and blood. Special rule, gas movement area of high concentration, area of low concentration. During exercise, the partial pressure, what happens is because we are kind of like breathing in more oxygen, i.e. because our vital capacity is increased, and our breathing rate is also increased, which means that our mechanisms of breathing is better, so we're getting more oxygen on. All that happens is now we have an increased partial pressure of oxygen at the alveoli. Then we also have a decrease of carbon dioxide within the blood, and an increase of carbon dioxide in the blood, which means that diffusion gradient is greater. So we're getting more oxygen on, which means that we're getting greater oxygen, and it just becomes more efficient. It is better at doing that. So that is another adaptation. So first of all, we've got increased in vital capacity as an adaptation of the respiratory system to exercise. We also get an increase in oxygen and carbon dioxide diffusion rate, or basically the efficiency of gaseous exchange at the alveoli. Finally, the last one is we get an increased strength of respiratory muscles. So the muscles are the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles. So these increase in strength. So training will increase the efficiency of the respiratory muscles responsible for breathing and gaseous exchange. This allows for greater expansion of the chest cavity. This means that we're going to be able to get more oxygen on board, we're going to be able to breathe in more oxygen, and then we're going to be able to breathe out more carbon dioxide. So with regards to training, we get an increased strength of those respiratory muscles, i.e. the diaphragm. When it contracts and flattens, even more, with even more force it does during exercise. And the same with those external intercostal muscles that help with breathing in. They become stronger, which means our thoracic cavity goes up and out even further, or the thoracic cavity volume increases further. And then when we breathe out, the pressure during exercise, because during exercise expiration is active. So during exercise, when we breathe out, because our muscles have increased, our internal intercostal muscles have increased in strength. And then you've also got the rectus abdominis getting involved with regards to breathing out. We breathe out even more um, carbon dioxide or even more air, which means that the pressure is even greater. The thoracic cavity pressure is even greater, which means more air is released, more carbon dioxide is removed from the body, which means we can perform for longer at higher intensities. So they're the adaptations of the respiratory system to exercise. I want you to get some good clear notes on those for me and do a trigger and answer slide for that. I'll also give you some answers to some questions to answer in lesson time as well. So if you get those down, I'll appreciate that. Thank you. Bye.